Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and this is Small Stuff Big Family. I am in Jefferson City, Missouri today, our state capital. I'm here for work-related purposes, but I do have some free time on my lunch break today, and then after our meetings are over today, I'll have all evening to be able to take you around and show you some of my favorite places to explore if you come to Jefferson City. Come along with me. One of my favorite buildings in Jefferson City is the Governor's Mansion. It was built in 1871, and I just find it to be architecturally stunning. Although I've never personally been inside the mansion, you can see from the photos online that the inside is just as beautiful as the outside, and you can tour the mansion by scheduling it in advance online. And not only is the building itself interesting, but the grounds surrounding it are also so pretty. So even if you don't take a tour, it's definitely worth a stop to admire. Just on the other side of the Governor's Mansion is the Carnahan Memorial Garden with its beautiful stone walkway, lush plant life, and a small reflection pool in the center of the garden. This space is sometimes reserved for private government events or rallies. You can reserve the space for a private wedding, but if there's not a private event going on, you can walk around the garden, rest on one of the benches. It's definitely another spot worth seeing, and you also get a view of the Missouri State Capitol from the garden. Of course, when you visit Jefferson City, you cannot miss seeing the Missouri State Capitol. It's located on the Missouri River, and it's surrounded on all sides by beautiful fountains, sculptures, and memorials, some of which we'll go into in a little bit more detail later on in this video, but it's worth a walk around the entire outside of the building. You can also drive around the building, but like I said, because there's so much to see around the outside of the building itself, I think it's worth a walk around, especially if it's a nice day when you're visiting Jefferson City. And although I didn't go inside the Capitol during this trip, I've been on a tour here before with my oldest son Joey, and it's something that I think every Missourian should experience once in their lifetime. Not only are the government offices and the House of Representatives where you can listen in on legislative sessions, but the Capitol also houses the Missouri State Museum, which is filled with artifacts and exhibits of Missouri's cultural and natural history. All 4 floors of the Capitol are free and open to the public, but you do currently need a reservation because of the pandemic, so visit their website before you go for guidance on how to do that. Across the street from the Missouri State Capitol is the Supreme Court building. This is the highest court in the state of Missouri, and only select few cases are tried here, but you can listen in on some of the argument sessions. You can even schedule a tour of the building. It's interesting as well, so check that out. Another part of the surrounding area around the Capitol is the Lewis and Clark Corps of Discovery Memorial. It is really neat to think that these guys started right here in the Missouri, following the Missouri River, and they have lots of different signs about their journey and the part of their journey here in Jefferson City. So be sure to check that out. It's just a really pretty memorial as well. They also have the Missouri Veterans Memorial. They have these monuments labeled for each of the wars that Missourians had played a part in. It's really beautiful to walk along this area as well. Now, 2021 is Missouri's bicentennial year, so they are building a Bicentennial Bridge. It is not built yet, but you can see that they've started on it. So if you are watching this in maybe 2022, be sure to check that out. I think it's going to be really cool. Like I said, they have lots of sculptures surrounding the Missouri State Capitol. This was just one of them, but something I didn't realize that they had in Jefferson City is a replica of the Liberty Bell. This is actually the same dimension and tone as the real Liberty Bell right here in Jefferson City. Who knew? Just a couple blocks from the Missouri State Capitol is the business district. They have lots of shops and restaurants and little boutiques. So be sure to check out this area, especially if you want to grab a bite to eat or do some shopping while you're visiting Jefferson City. If I were ranking my top things that you must do in Jefferson City, I think the Missouri State Capitol would be number one if you've never done it before, but number two is definitely the Missouri State Penitentiary. Mark and I have done a ghost tour here. You can also just do history tours if you're not into the ghost thing, but I fully believe that this place is haunted and the history is so interesting here. So I will leave our full video of the Missouri State Penitentiary linked down below. Be sure to check that out if you missed it. Last but not least, Jefferson City has several trails and parks that you can visit that are beautiful, but I really enjoyed this Clark's Hill historic site. It's just a mile round trip out and back type of trail, but what is so interesting is that this is the same path that William Clark of Lewis and Clark had traveled. He went up to, they hiked at the base where this trail kind of starts, and then he hiked up to the top of the hill and saw the confluence of the Osage and Missouri rivers. He made notes in his journals about the Native American burial mounds. There are 2 burial mounds along this trail, which is really interesting and almost kind of gave me an eerie type of vibe. Maybe it was because I was hiking alone. Maybe it was the mounds, I'm not sure, but it was so interesting, and it ends at the top, the same spot where William Clark had stood. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like the video. It helps my channel out, and I appreciate it so much. Subscribe if you want to see more. I love doing these Exploring Missouri videos because I love our state and showing you all around. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.